So my name's Ross Green, and I took a mentorship at Lupin House, and I'm a feature film animator. Oh my god, what made me want to be an animator? Nothing. I don't know why. I don't know why I do this. The thing that made me want to be an animator was I've always loved film since I was a kid. I mean, filming is my passion. I want to be a director, and I want to direct animation. And I think I see being an animator as a stepladder to get to that dream. One of the projects I worked on had some character animation. I really wanted to develop my skills in character animation, and I thought the best place to do it would probably be Lupin House, because I saw how a lot of your students got their things lit and rendered, so it didn't feel like it was just teaching about animation, it was also making a really cool and standout portfolio piece. I think it exceeded my expectations. I didn't expect the feedback to be so detailed, and even when my mentorship was finished, I didn't expect to have so much extra help from the other students and from Stephen, really helping me to get it to that next level of polish. I think it was very good, especially in the way of helping me to really polish my shot. I think that's something which I somewhat struggled with was, you have your blocking stage and you have your primary stage, which is all good, but then getting it into polish, I think is really hard to really nail down without some extra support, and I think that was really, really helpful. Oh, extremely. I had Andrea Ferreira, and he was fantastic. Like, his feedback was so detailed, especially on like the appeal of mouth shapes and facial expressions. It really helped to elevate my piece. Rigs were very fast. They worked in my Maya 2023, and I was animating from a laptop, and they still worked really fast with my C. I'm joking. What I would say to someone is make sure that the first thing I'd definitely take a look at is appeal and posing. I feel like those things get really overlooked within animation. And I think as an animator of like close to 3 years now, I think I've definitely overlooked at the start how appealing and posing is really important to everything in animation. Because without that, you can have nice timing, but I feel like the audience won't really love your piece unless it has some really nice poses and facial expressions. I was thinking, I really want to study more character animation. I really want to learn that, and I really want to develop that. And that was my aim for mentorship. I really wanted just to grow and understand as much as possible about character animation and about what in my skill set am I missing at the moment. I would say do it. I think it's really good. I would 100% recommend looking at all the mentors and seeing which one fits you, even if it's just like type of films. Like when I saw Andrea, the main reason I went for Andrea was because he had such cartoony showreel, and like all his films were all done in some sort of style that wasn't just normal animation. Because I feel like I'd done normal animation before, I'd done the kind of basics before. I really wanted to elevate it to the next level, and so when I picked him as being my mentor, it was based on the fact of, oh, this guy knows how to do cartoony style, this guy knows how to do on two style, so whatever piece I do, I know for a fact he's going to be able to really help me push it and elevate it to another level. I think extremely helpful. I think Stephen would probably get back to me within 24 hours, if that. And again, it's a group chat with all the other people doing the course. So, any real issues, I can message in there. I would say be realistic. You have to be realistic. None of us are perfect at anything, and realistically, unless you're at the top stage of animation, you probably still have some things missing in your boot. You still probably have some skills missing, and you could learn them over time. But I feel like it's much better to do a course where you're allowed to make mistakes and you're allowed to fail at things and allowed to go again and allowed to learn, rather than in a job where maybe these mistakes won't be as forgiven. And I think that's the difference between learning it in a course like this and learning it in industry. I feel like a lot safer and a lot better, and you feel a lot more nurtured by doing a course like this. I think he was hands down fantastic. His feedback was amazing. His notes, whenever I'm animating now, I still think about his notes, especially about, mouth posing, making sure you pick a side, making sure you favour a side. So many things which I wouldn't have thought about before. I now have his voice in the back of my head being like, you've got to focus on this. And it's really good. And also even things just to the simplest thing of even just focusing on one sentence at a time, not trying to do the whole thing in one go. All these things you hear about, but you maybe don't know how to implement them. And I think he definitely helped me see how you implement them. 100%. As I said, I think my tool set before, I have a VFX background. It was very much, how do you make something look as realistic as possible? How do you follow reference to a T? Now it's very much the mindset of how do we take the reference and elevate it to 100, or how do we take something and push it to the next level? Yeah, 100%. There's I'm all for one, following YouTube tutorials and looking at other people's work and seeing where to improve, but I feel like the best way to improve is to buy a course, if I'm honest, because by paying for the course, you're allowing someone to give you something for that. You're allowing someone to give you the information that you need, and also not just give you the information you need, to really focus in on the shot. We can all go to friends for feedback. We probably all have animation friends, but the difference is that these animation friends might not have the same amount of experience as these, mentors who have been in the industry for 10 plus years. Yeah, 100%. I think Andrea was, again, just had so much information and just knew so much about the art form, about animation, about how different pipelines work, and I think it was a really good process to learn from. Definitely, 100%. I got value. Again, I think the value I got from the mentorship was filling out those pieces that I felt like I didn't know enough of, especially those of posing. How do you make something look more cartoony? How do you push a pose to the next level? 100%. As I said, I'm at the start of my career in a way. I'm 2 years deep, and I've worked on a couple of films and TV shows, and I still did a Lupin mentorship because I feel like I needed to really understand what a cartoony animation looked like. What did this look like, and how do I get to that?